Hi, this is Christine with Seedman Development. Today I'd like to walk you through how you can work with both a registrant and a guest in the participant's destination in Importacular. So for example, if we have an individual who's registered for our gala and that individual is bringing a guest, they would both have a dinner preference that you would need to track. So you can see here in the template on my screen, I do have a registrant who is already mapped, and that registrant is linked to the constituent that's already been mapped in Razor's Edge. So you can see that under the linked in column here, or the linked to. And then you can see below that all of the things, and also above, you can see all of the things that I've linked to that registrant. So right now, we're adding an award to that registrant. We're adding a guest to that registrant. We're adding a dietary preference participant attribute. We're adding a benefit of the dinner. We're adding the dinner preference, and that's linked to the menu items that are set up on your event. We're adding a donation link. We're adding a registration gift link, and that works with those registration fees, which is the final row. However, because my registrant is also bringing a guest, and that guest is likely going to have a separate dinner preference from the registrant, since they're two different people, two different dinner preferences. Let's go ahead and show you how to create a second dinner preference and link that second dinner preference to the guest rather than to the registrant. So we're going to come over here to our mapping areas, and we're going to select the dinner preference mapping. We'll click Add New on that, and we need to give it a name. So let's call it our guest dinner preference. Next, we need to select who this is going to be imported to or linked with. And you can see here we have two options. One is called registrant. That was our individual that we were already working with as our registrant. And the other is called guest. Those are linked directly to participant mappings that I've already created. One was set up as a registrant and the other was set up as a guest. Your options in this dropdown are going to depend upon what you named those mappings for your registrants and your guests. Then I'm going to select my event menu ID. If I had that in my source field, I could select it there. If I have a default for that, I can also select it here. Since I don't know in my source field, I'm going to select the chicken piccata, and the guest is going to be registered and coded with the event menu ID of chicken piccata. So you can see now on my file, I have my registrant mapping, I have my guest mapping, I have my dinner preference that's linked to my registrant, and now I have a guest dinner preference that is linked to my guest. If I needed to, I could also add a benefit or a dietary preference attribute. I could add an award. Different areas can be added to that guest just the same way. You would click on the mapping, you would give it the name, and then you would select, oh, I've spelled that incorrectly. You would select the registrant or the guest in the dropdown, and then you create the attribute just how you would otherwise. So let's go ahead and mark this. Obviously, I cannot make all of my guests vegan. They may or may not be, but you can select the source field if you have that information in your file. This is just to show how you can link it to a different mapping. I hope that's been helpful, and thank you for your time. Have a great day.